and I'm back, and today I'm going to be making a review of the 5th episode of Dragons and Nine Realms first season. So out of all the episodes currently, I think this one is my favorite. I was really happy, in the 4th episode, I was like, okay, next episode is gonna be an Alex episode, and it was, and it has proven to be so good, so let's get into it. So we start off with honestly not the best thing, actually. This might be my favorite episode yet, but I have a few complaints. So first we have all of the main characters, they're leaving with their dragons, and they have to be careful not to get spotted and all. But Thunder, for some reason, he flies up into the air, and Tom's like, don't do that, somebody's gonna see you, because a helicopter passes by later. But this was later said to be he was trying to find, he was wondering, is that another one of his species or something? And I get that we're pulling parallels again from How to Train Your Dragon, how Toothless is the last Night Fury. Presumably. We don't actually know that for a fact, but everybody was saying that, so I guess we're going with it. But now, if this is gonna be the last Nightlight, Thunder was actually confirmed to be a Nightlight. So I don't know. I would honestly rather, if we gotta go by the almost extinct or completely only one member left, I would rather put that on another dragon, like for example Alex's dragon or something. I don't know. I feel like it would just make it more interesting than if we have the same conflict again. And I swear to God, if this series finishes by Thunder meeting a female Nightlight and going away because of his instincts, just like Toothless did, I will be pissed. So when they're all running away from the helicopter, we actually see the first glimpse of Alex's dragon. So obviously this isn't a surprise for me at all, because I've seen all of the other stuff before the actual series came, like the trailer and all, so I knew this dragon can be invisible. But with this dragon, again, they went with the approach of invisible, sometimes fully invisible that not even the audience could see them, and sometimes this half invisible, but I'm guessing the characters can't see it either way. I was kind of confused. Alex, for some reason, has access to all the cameras, which is just... it's hilarious. I don't think she's allowed to have that. Maybe she is, but it really doesn't seem like it. It more seems like she hacked into the system. So she found, some pictures of, how something is flying through that ravine, so through the fissure. So that's interesting, how she found that. I'm not actually sure how that happened, but she was also kind of weirded out by how many times Tom has sneaked out. So she's like, what the hell are you doing? And now we have this. Oh my god. Alex has 2 moms. We have LGBTQ representation in this show. This show has everything. The main crew is 2 girls and 2 guys. We have all races, and now we have LGBTQ as well. I love it. I love how far they went to just make everything include everything. That's great. It just makes me so happy to see such things in shows that are this show. I think it's kind of the same, has the same audience as How to Train a Dragon. I think kind of the same age, maybe a bit younger audience, I'm not sure. So these 2 actually come and ask Alex does she want to go hunting fireflies with them, which, God, that actually sounds so fun, I want to do it. But she actually says no, and at first I was like, why not? That's so sad. These 2, her moms are so supportive, and even later when they get out of her room, they're like, I just wish she had a friend. But Alex actually is debating, should I go with them, or she actually later decides, you know what, I want to find out what the hell Tom is doing. So I'm not gonna go over this too much. The other 3 main characters are just with their dragons in the cave, and they're pretty much saying how they're gonna hide in case that they need to. And this, I don't really like this part, because later it comes that oh my god, the skills they have learned are actually gonna be of use, and they all use it in that part when they need to sneak out from the main area. But I don't know, that's just kind of cringy to me. This show has many good sides, but it has these undertones of very childish ways of presenting things, which I didn't like this moment or that moment later at all, so I'm not gonna go into detail of what they were doing. So Alex decided to follow Tom, and I don't know why she did this at night. Maybe she knew that Tom was currently already somewhere else. She was trying to find him, so I guess that's why. But, I mean, that's kind of brave, honestly, when we find out later why she's so scared of going outside. This is actually a very brave thing from her. We also see that the invisible dragon has followed them for some reason, and that's kind of funny. This dragon seems very curious. All of the dragons really do, but I guess it makes sense. They never really see humans, even though that does pose a question of why did this dragon only now decide to follow somebody? Why didn't it ever like leave from the fissure and just come out? That's kind of strange. We can also see these three. They have noticed that she's there, so they're like debating on what the hell should we do now. But they don't have to do anything, cause Alex sees all the dragons and god, this is... I love Thunder's smile. It is so damn adorable. I love it, but obviously she gets terrified. I love the moment that she doesn't react at first, which honestly I feel like this is the most appropriate reaction to seeing these creatures that obviously she doesn't know they're dragons yet, but this is such an appropriate reaction. She just first is quiet and then starts screaming and running away. Like, she comes home and she pretty much tries to convince herself that, oh, it's not real, that didn't happen, which, honestly, yeah, that makes sense. You would be in denial. Most people, if they see something like that and run away from it, you would try to convince yourself that you didn't see it, that you were just imagining it, it doesn't exist, everything's fine. But the window's open and suddenly everything starts moving around and oh my god, if I was in this situation, honestly I would do the exactly same thing that she did, which is just literally hide in my bed and hope this is all a very, very realistically bad dream. But it's not, and she sees the dragon. And honestly, this picture, even though I used it for my thumbnail in one of my videos, and back then I was so skeptical about this show. Back then, I honestly love to look back at it and see how disappointed I was in what was presented to me, and I'm so happy to say that I was wrong. I'm so happy to say that this show is good. I would rather be the fool who was wrong than the show actually being awful, because then I would just be mad about it being awful and nothing would be good. But yeah, honestly, this scene, now that I saw it with more context, and me liking actually Alex, now I really love Alex. She might be my favorite. I don't know, I'll have to decide on that. It's just nicer to see it now than it was before. But the dragon goes invisible, and these three show up, and I love how they try to sell the story of, oh, could you believe it? There were some teenagers dressed up as like, I don't know what exactly they said, but they were trying to convince her that those were just costumes, but she didn't buy it. She was like, no, those aren't just teenagers, those are monsters. And we have the whole problem with the dragon, and actually we find out that this dragon has something to do with sound. That is quite interesting. I like the originality of these dragons. I think the actual, the people who are making the show did really try to make it more original. Because this dragon, I don't even know which class it is from, because it seems like it could be from the title class, but because of I don't know, just its design, but already June's dragon is a title dragon, so I don't know, would it make sense for two dragons to be title dragons? Because we know that, obviously, Thunder is from Strike class, because if he's a Nightlight, and Night Furies are from the Strike class, and I'm guessing the Angel's dragon is probably from the Boulder class, just because of the design. Even though it could be from Mystery class too. But they notice that Alex's moms are coming home, so they actually come, and they are so happy that their daughter, called friends over, which it's such a nice scene, I love it. And when they made popcorn, oh god, this was a hilarious scene. They just gave it to the angel, and then the dragon just freaking ate it all, this dragon doesn't know what personal space is. But yeah, the moms decide to leave because they feel like, oh, maybe we're just crowding her style. We shouldn't interrupt her. That's just so cute. And for some reason, Tom and D'Angelo decide it would be a good idea to try to attack. I mean, not attack, but more catch the dragon. I don't know what's gonna do. At least Tom, you should know better at this point. But he actually does. So him and Alex stay alone, and he kind of explains to her how dragons are just dogs, which, fair point, he does have a point, but good thing that he didn't mention those 3 feral dragons that were chasing them for the last 2 episodes, because otherwise Alex would be probably terrified. But we hear Alex's, story of why she doesn't like to go outside. I at first thought this was just more of, her introvert thing, that she really likes electronics and all, and that she doesn't really go outside much because of that, but that's not the case. It's because once when she was young, a dog bit her. It followed her home, and it bit her, very hard and it chased her, and that's why she's freaking terrified of going outside because something will follow her. And this obviously, I mean, that's kind of awful. Imagine your whole life just trying to hide from, like, ever going outside, and then the one time you do go outside, the exact thing that you don't want to happen happens. But yeah, Tom explains to her how to, like, you need to just put your hand out and let the dragon accept you, which, I would kind of be terrified for my hand because the dragon is invisible. You know, I would kind of be like, I hope it's not gonna bite off my hand. But you know what? She manages to bond with it. And I really like this dragon's color scheme, even though yellow eyes are never my preference. Like, never. I don't like yellow eyes, but it works out. So yeah, here we have that moment that I was talking about where they need to sneak out of here and they all use like their special abilities that they learned, and I don't know, it felt too childish for me, I'm sorry. And when Alex was also going there with her dragon, she had this nice bonding scene with it. And this dragon, I don't know, it's just so cute and I love the design, and she called it Feathers. Even though I still can't see it. I don't know. I know she's pointing out to the head and the tail that look like feathers, but that doesn't really look like feathers much to me. That more just looks like an aesthetic choice. And also later, this dragon is like kind of, it seems a bit different than her. Obviously this dragon also needed to like have some time to bond with the other dragons, but it seems way more open than her, which will help her probably to be more open. And it's just nice that she's finally now in the team, and I can't wait for the next episode because I'm pretty sure, because of one of the synopses that we had for one of the episodes, there's gonna be a dangerous dragon involved, so I'm excited. So anyways, that will be pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!